Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that's new here, what we do is basically go over crypto news or news in the space from the prior day or from this morning that I'm just catching myself up on, and I take you guys along for the ride. So let's see who's in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Mr. Tim, I am crypto. Good to see you. We have all set. Mr. Kyle Rosa, Lawnmower Man, Scott Sheffield, Carl Coate, good to see you, buddy. Steven Cicero, Overboard Tech, my man, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Let's see who else here. Alvidus, good to see you. Andrew Musad, Zapirate, Dakota Miner in the house, good to see you, buddy. Let's see who else is here. Leo Lustig, my man, appreciate you. Scott Sheffield, Backwards Miner, everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Let's check out this market today. Looking like we are, if my button would work, there we go, $42,773. Look at that. Mr. Crypto Frank, good morning, buddy, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. We have Ethereum at 23.22, Dogecoin under 8 cents, XRP under 50 cents. We have Solana at 93 bucks, ETC under 25 is at 24.37. XMR is in the deep red, down 7.61%, 129 bucks. I almost said $1.29. That would be amazing and definitely a time to buy. Kaspa 10 cents. Look at that. Render is down. Everything's really just like kind of floating along sideways. It looks pretty bad, but it's really not. Everything's pretty good. What was I gonna say? Render, where we at? $4.34. Render's actually been doing ridiculously well. Again, it's one of those coins on the Solana network. All right, let's check out crypto bubbles over here. Biggest earner on the day looks like ENS, Ethereum Name Service. Is anybody into this coin? Let me know, please. And if you guys have any questions, obviously add me in the chat. Mr. Crypto KJ, appreciate you, buddy. Can we not check the market today, please? Thanks for being here. Ethereum Name Service, I don't know what this one's about. I've never looked into it. It's popped up on the charts a couple times now, but it's up 14 ranks today, $21.85. So let me know if you guys are into that. Not too sure. Let's see. How does he miss big black snake mining? I don't. I just choose not to say it sometimes because it's very long. DJ Death Star, good to see you, buddy. Power Mines, good morning. XMR is down 24.9% again at $124. Looks like Pyth is down 10.8%. Again, this is on the day, so 24-hour. We have 45 cents. Let's see. Flare down 10.5%, 87 for ranking, and we have 2 cents, just under 3. Teo Bitensor looks like it's up actually 12.6% at $500 even. Nice, ranked 33. Let's see. Pendle is up 13 ranks to rank 82. Looks like it's $3.24. These are all just whatever coins to me, to be honest. Jupiter looks like it's down 8.6%, 51 cents. Does anybody capitalize on that airdrop last week? Let me know. HBAR 7.2% up on the day, looks like 7.5 cents. Not too bad. All right, Crypto Fear and Greed Index looks like we're at 64. Again, it says it's in the greed. I don't really pay attention to it until it's about over 75 or below 25, but still good to look at, right? Got to pay attention in the market. All right, top 10 coins, coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, USDC, Lotto Staked Ether, Cardano, and Avalanche still holding 10th place. Chainlink flipped Dogecoin yesterday briefly, if I am not mistaken. That was crazy to see Doge start getting kicked down the ranks because it held 10th spot for quite some time, but it is in 11th today. We have Chainlink in 12th, looking like $18.60. Chainlink, I feel like I should buy in some, to be honest, but I don't know. Polkadot as well, and Polygon, two other ones I kind of want to look into, but I just haven't jumped on them yet, to be honest. Ethereum Classic looks like it's in 25th place. We have Uniswap 22nd. Litecoin severely undervalued at 67 bucks in 20th, in my opinion. We have, let's see what else. Kaspa is in 42nd place. We have Arbitrum in 41st, XMR in 40, which is Monero. Not too bad. Everything's looking pretty good. Render's in 49th place, like you guys know. How's Hivemapper doing today? Let's see. How is that doing today? I did a video this weekend. If you guys didn't see it, go check it out. This is honey. Actually, you know what? It was 16 cents when I recorded that video, so it's up from that day. But on the day, oh man, it went up to 18 cents. Interesting. So it was a penny higher. And that's not really drastic, but when you have a lot of coins, it is. XMR got delisted on Binance. Really, Alvidus? Really? I mean, I understand why, but is what it is. Hivemapper is down. Hivemapper down. Oh, you're just saying down on the day. Oh, scared me. Jeez. All right. Oh, actually, has anyone else been having issues with your honey token or Solana on Tangem or any other wallet? Let me know in the chat, because I know somebody in the community that was having issues with it reading on their Tangem wallet, but mine's working fine, and so is everybody else's. So, or everybody in the VIP chat. So I don't know if anybody has similar issues. Just let me know if you do, because I retweeted something on Twitter, but go check it out if you guys have any issues. Solana is down right now. Carl Code, that's what I was hearing. So I'm wondering if that's why. But it's weird that my Tangem reads and his doesn't. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Let's see. For anyone not aware, Solana Network's currently down. Yeah, Crypto KJ, thank you. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. And oh my, look at this. The IB Link BMKS Max is on the top of the charts now. Kicked the Windminer K9 that's been holding strong in first place for like 4 months down a rank. Looks like we have 11 terahashes at 3,400 watts, making 741 Kaspa per day at $65.94. Man, that is crazy. Crazy. We have the Windminer K9 10.3 terahash unit making $61.47 a day. This is the first time we're seeing this IB Link on the top. Kind of neat. Kind of neat to see things change. I heard there was more Kaspa miners coming out. I wonder if this is the only one. I don't think it is, but we're gonna see. The Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit looks like it's making $46.21. By the way, if anybody is wondering, I don't know if I updated in the description, but my code for Ice River is now just chump in all capital letters. So it's not 2023. They took it off for whatever reason, so I gotta go back and like fix all my shit. But anyways, I wouldn't recommend jumping into Kaspa miners right now. Ice River's been having hella issues with their boards and everything else just screwing up. So is what it is. Ice River KS3M, we have a 6 terahash unit making $32.26 per day. We have the iPolo G1 Mini. Actually, green was on top of the charts yesterday for GPUs, which was kind of interesting. Looks like this thing's making $18.22 per day. I gotta reach out to somebody and see if I can get one of these things. I want to test it out. I've never mined Grin though in my life, and I don't know if is this a coin to stay? Is it around to stay? It's been here a while, so you guys let me know what you think. The Jazzminer X16P, this is the unit that I taped a teabag to and sent to Mr. Max Voltage. If you're here, Max, I apologize. That was good tea though. I promise you can try it if you're interested. It's making $14.66 per day. This thing is killing it on ETC and ZIL. I think actually Max is doing a 14 coins in 14 days test on this unit. So I want to know, I want to see how he does with it, because I actually was gonna mine that Larissa, is that the coin that's called? I was gonna mine Larissa, and the wallet, for some reason I chose not to do it, and I can't remember. It was a weird ass wallet if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know. Hopefully Max figures it out and hopefully everything goes smooth for him. We have the Ice River KS2. Looks like it's making $10.59 per day. It's just pretty bad. It's getting really far down there. We have the Superscaler K10. This thing is on the top of the charts with Carlson on the top of the charts. The Elysium was there, and then it obviously is switched now to Carlson, making $10.07 per day. Let's see, let's scroll down a little bit. We have the X16Q. Shout out to Jingle Mining. I have this thing running, and solo mining Octaspace. Actually, Octaspace is having a fifthening, I guess. I thought it was a halving yesterday, but apparently it's a fifthening, just like ETC, in like 3 days. So if anybody's mining Octaspace, pay attention to that, because that's happening. Yes, the K10 Plus is actually, I got the option to test this out, so I'm gonna see what's going on with that. But I don't know, maybe we might see this on the channel in the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks. We'll see. But yeah, pay attention to Octaspace. That was just one of those things I wanted to point out to you guys, because we saw that yesterday on the show. We have the Bitmine Antminer L79050. I got this thing running down at Terra Hosting. If you guys are interested, 10 cents per kilowatt hour. This is very nice, and this is profits after that electric bill. This is at 10 cents, all of these prices, right? So $4.09 per day, just stacking LTC and Doge. Most of the earnings on that one are in Doge, and I don't understand why it doesn't have both symbols like this one, right? Like ETC and ZIL. It should have Litecoin and Doge, not just Litecoin. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Let's see, where is the S19K? Where is that? I probably already went by it. Did I go by it, or is it way down on the list? No. Oh, it's right here. Duh. 120 terahash unit, S19K. I just purchased one of these, and as of right now, I am one of 2 out of like 1,000 Bitcoin miners that the control board actually went on mine. So it's covered under warranty, but I'm just waiting for it to come back in. $2.41 a day. So my game plan with this thing is to flip it in the bull run versus just, you know, I'm gonna mine on it until then, and then I'm just gonna sell it, because there's no point to not. I feel like these things are just gonna absolutely explode when the price appreciates a bit. All right, I think that's really it. Maybe the Ice River KS0 Pro 200 gigahash unit, 100 watts, $1.11 a day. Again, 100 watts. I run these at my house. It's freezing in my basement right now, but I have 8 of them next to me, so that is helping out just a bit. All right, Mr. Leo Lustig, let's see. He said, I just bought an S19K Pro this morning. Hell yeah, good stuff, buddy. Congrats to you, sir. All right, let's check out GPUs, see what GPUs or what coins are on top of the charts for GPUs. We have the 4090 Nvidia, top of the charts. As you guys know, Nvidia has been killing it. We will see a clip on that in just a few. Lithium and Hyper and Lithium still on the top of the charts. Looks like Pyron 4080 Super is taking the top of the charts there. We have the 4080 just, you know, plain Jane Lithium and Hyper, same thing, Lithium. Let's see, 4070 Ti Nexa is a little different on the highest revenue. We have Neoxa on the 3090 Ti. That's neat. How's Neoxa looking, actually? Now I gotta look at that. I want to see what the price is at. It's actually down 2.12%. This was the 3. That's interesting that that's profitable now. Weird. And that is a Kapow based algorithm, so that's very strange. Grin still on the top of the charts. Some AMD cards. Nice. Look at that. Carlson, Conflux Radiant on the 3090. Interesting. There is a lot of stuff going on here. So guys, you guys have plenty of coins to search. Mr. Midwest Mining, appreciate you for becoming a Chump Change VIP. Make sure you link your YouTube with Discord. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, let's get into the news stuff. We have to get into a lot of things today. So this right here, we're going to start with Coinbase's spot Bitcoin ETF volume drags on rising outflows. We're going to see what they got to say here, guys. Without further ado, hit that like button. Let's get into it. Is she muted? Is this me? What is happening right now? Is it broken? Nope. All right, I don't know what's going on. Why is that not working? That is weird as shit. Hold on, people. Why is none of my YouTube working? What is happening? I don't hear anything either, I promise. What is going on? Why does it say muted? Look at this up top. It says it's muted and it's not. Huh. Someone's messing with me. What is going on? This doesn't make any sense. What the hell? It clearly, look, it clearly says it's not muted. The volume is all the way up. But it says muted up here on the bar. Oh wait, hold on.
Bitcoin ETF is a double whammy.
What? All right, we're gonna start this over. I don't know what the hell that was about. All right, I hope that works now. Let's see. I don't know what's going on here. We got ghosts in the studio this morning. All right, let's get into it.
Let's talk about Coinbase. Mizuho Securities' Dan Dolev pointing to Bitcoin ETF assets under management at Coinbase likely below levels prior to the mid-January launch. Those shares down by 9%. Now, Dolev, in a note here, talked about the Bitcoin ETF as a double whammy for the company. So outflows from ETFs where Coinbase is the custodian, he wrote, exceed inflows here. And that's mostly because of the outflows from GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF, and that the inflows have not more than made up for that.
Real quick, thank you, Curtis. You're the only one that helped me in the chat. Everyone else just laughing at me. That's the worst. By the way, appreciate you, Mr. Geek of all trades. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, this is a rough start to the year now for Coinbase. The stock's down about 30% so far this year. Of course, listen, that's after a monster 2023, so just giving that good context. Also, good piece in Bloomberg today. Did you see how the company and CEO Brian Armstrong are kind of preparing, in their words, a war chest to back crypto-friendly politicians? That Armstrong and Coinbase account for about a third of the $85 million now raised by the Fair Shake Super PAC, which has supported folks like Republicans like Tom Emmer, Democrats like Josh Gottheimer. So Coinbase kind of pulling out the checks and working the halls of power.
Interesting. I had not seen that, but I mean, what's interesting about that is Coinbase for a long time has been quite politically active, but that's not going to help it with this core issue, right? The Bitcoin ETF assets, that's sort of separate from what's been going on in politics. I guess unless you start getting an Ether ETF or whatever else, but nonetheless, their ETF AUM, assets under management, according to Dolev, has fallen to about $25.9 billion. It's
Never
fallen by
hurts to
about
have
4%.
friends in high places, though. Does it?
I just don't know how much it'll help.
All
But we'll
right.
see.
I think they're gonna make out on set. I don't know what's happening there. Yeah, this is Brave browser, by the way. This is not Chrome. I'm using Brave browser, so I don't understand what's going on. Anyways, let's get into this. Nvidia stock rallies with stock up 40% this year. Is anybody into Nvidia stock? Please let me know. Let's see if we're muted. Yeah, we're fucking muted. God damn it. Well, I might have to do this for every video. Why? Why is it doing that now? I've never had that happen. That's so weird. All right, let's try it again. There we go.
Nvidia shares hitting a record high again in today's trading.
Well, to be honest, this is Brave browser, but I pay for a YouTube Premium, so I'm not going to get ads anyways. Yeah, I don't know.
Up about 3%. Analysts have been optimistic ahead of the chipmakers' earnings later this month, sending the shares up by almost 40% this year after a nearly 240% surge in 2023.
Crazy.
And that sentiment, by the way, optimism broadly over chips being echoed by the Semiconductor Industry Association today. They say the market outlook is extremely strong, citing a big rebound at the end of last year despite a slow start, and predicting double-digit growth in 2024. Let's bring in Stacey Raskin, Bernstein's managing director and senior analyst who covers chips.
What's happening right now?
Time with you to
Jesus.
dig into the chip industry. And obviously people are feeling fairly good right here, especially about Nvidia. And I wanted to start there if we could. They're not reporting earnings for a few weeks, but man, there is a lot of optimism already being baked into that report. Do you think they're going to be able to match it?
Look, I think for now numbers go up. That seems clear. You sort of talked about the semiconductor industry as a whole, and I think he gave the SIA's forecast. Semi should grow, I think, this year. Not everything though. Like not everything is made equal. But one of the areas I think should be growing a lot is AI, and they are clearly like the most exposed to that space. They're one of the few that are actually making real money in that space. It's one of the few areas where expectation, not just expectation, but actually reality across the players that are there, where those expectations are actually getting upgraded rather than downgraded. I think for now for Nvidia numbers likely go up. They're still going to be shipping everything I think that they can make, and so we'll see if it's enough to match the expectations as you put it. But I would even push back a little bit there. Like if you're looking at valuations, which are like a signal of expectations, Nvidia is actually one of the cheaper AI plays. The stock today is trading something like 32 times forward earnings. Those earnings are likely to go up, I think, in my opinion. It's way cheaper than AMD. It's cheaper than Marvell. It's even cheaper than Intel right now. So I would argue that like expectations, I mean, they're high. Maybe they could stand to even be higher.
And Stacey, I'm interested, we just heard from the hyperscalers, right? Those big cloud giants, Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet. When you heard their CapEx plans, Stacey, what were the big takeaways from that for chip investors?
Real quick, Mr. DJ Death Star in the chat. Appreciate you for the 2 Satoshis to help pay for the interweb bills. Appreciate you.
Well, CapEx is going up, which is good, especially on the AI front. One of the broader questions for AI is there's a lot of investment going on. Sure, but you can sort of look at some of the numbers that are there for Nvidia or others, and you say, well, where are those dollars coming from? Like we want to see CapEx go up, and we are actually starting to see that now, I think, in a bigger way from a lot of the hyperscalers and some others. CapEx spending is going up.
So let's circle back then to the point that you made that this is not a monolithic industry, right? That there are going to be those that are more leveraged to AI and the other stuff that there's demand for. So I guess I'll take the other side of it. Who is not going to be benefiting from that trend that investors maybe should stay away from right now?
Mr. Crypto KJ, my man, appreciate you, buddy. He said, gifted a membership. Mr. Lawnmower Man was gifted. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for that.
Well, let me separate stocks from revenues right now. Let's talk about revenues. And you're right, the SIA, I think, said they put out a forecast for growth. Fine. Semiconductors should grow this year. We were down about 8% last year, and memory was down a lot, and non-memory was down a little. This is an asynchronous cycle. Certain end markets are sort of through their cycles and returning to growth. Other end markets are kind of in the meat of it, and others are just starting to roll. So AI is clearly off the charts, like that's growing. Things like PCs and smartphones, which actually went through their bathtubs, they were very weak last year. They're coming out the other side of it. Those should probably grow this year some. I'd say things that are sort of like more in the meat of the downturn now, traditional data center server CPUs, networking, that sort of thing are pretty weak. And then I would say the industrial and auto spaces that affect a lot of the analog names, those are just starting to roll. And in some cases, like industrial, they're rolling over hard, and auto's starting to show some cracks. I would hazard a guess that industrial and auto end markets probably do not grow revenues. They're probably down this year.
And Stacey, while I have you, I want to get your thoughts on another name that made some headlines. You know, Intel making these news, kind of delaying the timeline for the company's Ohio plant. I'm just curious, Stacey, what you made of that headline, and what do you think it means for Intel?
Yeah, so
Am I hearing that right? Is his name Stacy?
I don't like. There was people wondering if it meant anything with their process roadmap. And look, I'm not an Intel I'm not a huge Intel fan, as many know. However, I don't think that those delay announcements, such as they were, had anything to do with their process roadmap. I think it has to do with the fact that they don't need the capacity, right? This is a dynamic sort of thing. Like they are doing construction, they're building the building, but at the same time, these factories could. I mean, it's going to be $20 billion. Like you don't dig a hole and throw $20 billion into it and then sit around the edge and wait for customers to show up, right? I mean, you build capacity as you need it, and you can look at where their revenues have gone in the year or two since they put out the original timelines for those factories, and the revenue trajectory has clearly changed, right? It's a lot lower today than it was. They're adding capacity in a lot of other places. They probably don't need them on the time frame that they had them on, or on the original schedule. And so it's kind of a dynamic thing, and they'll bring it up and running when they need to bring it up and running. They don't need it right now.
And Stacey, though, for these plants, as you're building them out, these advanced chip making plants, do these companies have the staff for these plants? I mean, it's one thing to build and fill an advanced chip making plant, but then you actually need people to lead it and staff it. Do they have that labor force?
Yeah, so in fact, it's even difficult right now getting the construction labor force to build them, right? That's not an easy thing. And no, I think this is a broader, let me put Intel aside, like this is a broader issue for the semiconductor industry. If you can look like globally at the number of fab projects that have been announced here in the US and in Europe and in Japan and in Taiwan and in China and even in places like India maybe, you need a lot of like highly skilled workers. I can't remember, I think I can't remember if it was SEMI or the SIA, but they put out some number that it was like something by 2030, like the semiconductor industry would need like 1 million skilled workers or something globally to support the infrastructure. So no, I think labor and talent management is an enormous issue as we are bringing these things up and running. Intel, for example, is actually working in Ohio with education. There's some things around the CHIPS Act for labor and talent and workforce. But these are enormous issues if we're going to bring the kind of capacity online that I think is being talked about over the next, like call it like decades. Like you're going to need people here.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of those jobs are not ones that AI can replace, especially when you're talking about actually physically building a thing. But I want to turn to China for just a second, because you and your team were out with a note looking at some predictions for China AI. And they're sort of specific, so I want to zoom out a little bit and just talk about China versus the US and sort of where we are in that development. Can you talk to us about that and sort of where we are and who stands to win, or is it not sort of zero sum here?
Well, so there are export controls now that were put on U.S. companies selling AI parts into China. Mostly they affect Nvidia. They don't really affect others because most of the others, the revenues were very, very small. Nvidia had a sizable business in China. And under the export controls as they currently stand, Nvidia basically can't sell any of these AI parts in China at all. They are working on new parts that will be legal to sell. However, given the performance thresholds that are around these sanctions, they have to drop the performance very considerably. And in fact, there are local Chinese alternatives from companies like Huawei that, at least on paper, will have better performance than what Nvidia is allowed to sell into China. What Nvidia will have is software compatibility. And like a lot of the existing AI infrastructure and models that have been built in China were already built on Nvidia hardware, and so they're leveraging Nvidia, the Nvidia software ecosystem. And so the Nvidia parts will allow seamless integration with that. And so they're probably more suitable, I would think, for more of the tier 2 developers. The larger ones, you know, in China may go with other alternatives if they've got the resources available to port everything over. I would say long term, though, I kind of view this, you know, my view is once they put sanctions on a year ago, I think long term the China TAM for the US guys is going to be impaired because they've lowered these thresholds, but even if they never did, they were never going to be raised. And so the gap between what is legal for US companies to sell into China in terms of performance and the rest of the world is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger over time anyways. And so I think you do need to think about that TAM ideally as potentially as impaired. Now, I think the overall TAM long term is enormous. I think it's big with or without China. So I think it's manageable, but you need to do that. I will put aside, by the way, the whole question of was this whole thing the right thing to do? I mean, I can understand the national security implications of wanting to constrain China's ability to build this up. But at the same time, and it's not just AI, it's AI and it's equipment and all kinds of other things. We are forcing China to become creative, right? In all senses of that word.
Which could bite us in the ass.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Stacey. I mean, how far are Chinese chip developers from matching Nvidia? You said the Huawei chips allegedly can do what the lower, you know, what the lower performance ones can do. But I mean, you know, it still seems like there's still a pretty big gap between homegrown chips and what Nvidia is producing elsewhere.
It is. And so what does that mean? That means that you'll have to shovel a lot more chips at the problem. So for example, the Huawei Ascend supposedly is roughly equivalent to an Nvidia A100. That part for Nvidia is 2 or 3 years old. On a performance basis, it's roughly equivalent. Again, it doesn't have the software ecosystem and everything, but if you just want to take that, I mean, fine. So that if they want to get the same amount of performance that Nvidia's or others are delivering with their current parts, they'll have to put a lot more silicon in place in order to do that. So that costs money in terms of chip cost. It costs a lot of money in terms of power and infrastructure and everything else. And so is it going to be cost competitive? Like if they had to sell that stuff elsewhere in the world? Absolutely not. It's not competitive. But they have no choice. So they'll do it. We saw the same thing like on smartphones. Huawei is making smartphone chips again, using supposedly SMIC 7-nanometer processes, which are not going to be competitive with what, say, Qualcomm or other main suppliers can provide. And they're going to burn more power. They're going to cost a lot more. But if you have no choice, you will do it. And then over time, you will try to figure out ways to optimize within the constraints that you have. Again, they are going to have to be creative. I don't know what this means, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. But it will be more challenging. And China in general is a big market for US and other suppliers. It's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher. I don't know what it looks like though as we kind of roll this out.
All right, well,
crazy. Well, shout out to Yahoo Finance for that. Man, how do you feel about the whole AI thing? Is everybody do you guys feel like you're missing the boat if you don't have a 4090 or like any type of baseline compute at your house? It makes me I don't know. I've been really debating on getting a 4090 lately. It's just so freaking expensive. But at the same time, it's like we were spending these on 3090s not too long ago. So I don't know. It was a good video. Shout out to them. All right, let's get into CNBC Crypto World. Gemini says crypto lender Genesis moves to sell Grayscale Bitcoin Trust assets. Let's see what they got to say. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. I hate asking, but YouTube makes me. And it's probably going to be muted again, isn't it? Yeah, I know.
Today, the former CFO.
All right, let's do it.
Today, the former CFO of Terraform Labs, who was arrested in Montenegro with Do Kwon, is extradited to South Korea. Gemini says crypto lender Genesis is moving forward to authorize the sale of trust assets, and Trevor Filter of Flexa breaks down what's driving crypto prices right now amid a historically strong month for the crypto market.
Buy open box. Where can I get that? Just Best Buy somewhere? I'm gonna have to look.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Jordan Smith. Crypto prices in the red to kick off the week. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin was down 0.5%, trading around $42,680. Ether was pretty much flat, trading close to $2,300, and Solana dipped more than 1% to $96. All right, let's talk about the top stories. Crypto market liquidity is getting a boost from rising stablecoin market cap, but JP Morgan thinks challenges lie ahead. Between their May 2022 peak and their October 2023 low of $122 billion, stablecoins expanded by $60 billion. The top came just before the collapse of the Terra network, which created the contagion that spread to other stablecoins and crypto lenders. The bank warned that stablecoins haven't fully recovered and could face regulatory challenges this year. Tether, the biggest and most popular stablecoin, has been widely criticized for its lack of transparency about the backing of the coin. JP Morgan analyst wrote in a note that, quote, Tether is most at risk given its lack of regulatory compliance and transparency, and that the bank views the increasing concentration in Tether over the past year as a negative for the stablecoin universe and the crypto ecosystem more broadly. On the flip,
Real quick, Mr. DJ Mine said, did we all talk about the Solana network being down again, or did he say did y'all see that it's down again? And yes, we spoke about it briefly. So somebody in the community actually asked me if my Tangent was having issues because their Solana and Honey Hivemapper was not showing up. It was just saying like error. So I'm assuming that's because of the Solana network, but other people, their wallets are fine. So I don't understand what's going on there. But if you guys know, let me know.
Flip side, the analyst said USDC, whose issuer
well, apparently the Solana network's down. I don't know if it's back up now or it was down at some point. I have no idea.
Eventually filed for an IPO last month, could benefit from a coming crackdown, adding that USDC appears to be looking to expand across jurisdictions and be proactively preparing for the upcoming stablecoin regulations. Next, the former chief financial officer of Terraform Labs has been extradited to South Korea. In a post on X today, the Ministry of Justice of Montenegro said the region handed over Han Chang-jun to authorities in his home country.
Real quick, HiveOS is down also.
The post featured a photograph showing the former CFO in handcuffs at an airport next to two masked policemen. The former executive was arrested in Montenegro with Terra co-founder Do Kwon in March of 2023 while trying to travel with falsified documents. They were later sentenced to 4 months in prison by a Montenegro court. Both South Korea and the U.S. have asked for Do Kwon to be transferred to their jurisdictions to face criminal charges for the collapse of Terraform Labs in 2022. Last month, we told you a federal judge delayed the SEC's trial against Do Kwon and Terraform Labs to allow for him to be extradited to the U.S. so he could attend. Last, Gemini says that crypto lender Genesis has filed a motion in the U.S. bankruptcy court authorizing a sale of trust assets. The crypto exchange said that the motion filed by Genesis late on Friday seeks authority for Gemini to monetize the initial collateral of nearly 31 million shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Genesis has requested an expedited hearing on the motion for Thursday. Last week, Genesis settled an SEC lawsuit over its part in the Gemini Earned Lending program. The crypto lender is moving forward with a liquidation plan that aims to repay customers in cash or crypto, depending on the type of currency they had deposited in Earn. That program was halted during the crypto market crash in November 2023, and its failure sparked litigation between Gemini, Genesis, and its parent company, Digital Currency Group.
Real quick, Greater Good Mining said Tangent replied and said to use the latest version of the app, but it was weird coincidence that Solana is down today, and that is very true. Looking right here, I was just looking it up quick, so we'll talk about this at the end too, just to catch anybody that may be joining late. Solana engineers to deploy fix as network suffers major outage. What else is new though? Wasn't this happening in the last pre-bull run, like right before the bull run happened? This shit started happening for Solana, like a lot of use on the network, and then everything starts just freaking deteriorating and falling apart. Solana suffered a major outage on Tuesday. The network's system status page shows Solana's mainnet beta is experiencing a performance degradation. Block progression is currently halted. Core engineers and validators are actively investigating, said Lane, a Solana validator, in an X post. Interesting. So, if anybody's wondering.
All right, back to crypto markets for our main story. We are now in a historically strong month for the crypto market, and I spoke with Trevor Filter, the co-founder of Flexa, about what's driving prices right now and what we can expect for Bitcoin as the next halving event approaches.
All right, Trevor, Bitcoin's starting out this year pretty strong. It's up about 20% year to date. What do you make of the strong performance of the cryptocurrency so far this year? And how much of that do you attribute solely to the ETFs that got launched in January? Or are there other things driving the market right now that investors should know about as well?
Great question. So I think there are a lot of interesting things happening in Bitcoin right now. A lot of general trends and then some more specific or time-sensitive things. I don't know that I would trace it entirely to the ETFs. I think there are some underlying aspects at play here. some of which we see directly in the payments we're processing in Flexa, some of which is more external. Those
Real
three
quick, I like selfishly hope that this makes Solana tank in price so I can buy some.
things I think that I would consider most salient are one,
It's still like $93. Somebody asked in the chat.
last Wednesday, the Fed announced that they would be holding interest rates. And this usually affects Bitcoin because lower interest rates enable more borrowing. More borrowing means people can buy things like Bitcoin. So keeping the status quo is usually a little bit of a negative signal in my experience. But I don't know that the markets anticipated that. And so you can see a small run-up taking place about a week before last Wednesday, and then a brief dip on Wednesday when the rate holds were announced. And so the question in my mind is, what are the factors, or where's that recovery coming from that we've continued to see a climb over the weekend and then continuing into today? And I think that really comes down to two big things. One is that the Bitcoin halving is exactly 11 weeks away today. And that's when the Bitcoin block reward that encourages miners to process Bitcoin transactions is cut in half. And that usually leads to more activity on Bitcoin because that reduced block reward is causing miners to kind of sit back and balance out their books with whatever activity they're seeing inside of the transactions.
Makes
So
it more of a
there's
finite
usually something of a
asset.
pre-halving rally that happens leading up to the halving event, which again is just 11 weeks away. Some people say this is probably already priced in. I think that's an unsafe assumption. Lastly, and definitely most interesting to me, is we're finally seeing a lot of new use cases take off on Bitcoin. And that is driving an increase in transaction fees. So over the last 5 days or so, since the Fed announced they'd be holding interest rates, we've seen transaction fees on Bitcoin go up by 4x. I think a lot of that can be attributed to inscriptions and BRC20 tokens. I think that's probably the major use case that's driving Bitcoin transaction fees right now, basically these NFTs and collectibles that can be stored natively on the Bitcoin blockchain. But in addition to that, we're seeing adoption of the Lightning Network growing. We've seen more than 2x capacity on the Lightning Network over the last year. And then here at Flexa, of course, we're seeing something of a surge in Bitcoin payments.
Ethereum is actually flat for the year. Solana, the Matic token, XRP are all down. Is
They're going to be talking about it tomorrow, Solana being down for
all
sure.
the interest taken up by Bitcoin right now, or do you expect these tokens to have their own moments this year as sort of the news of the ETFs and we get past the halving, all of that stuff gets in the rearview mirror?
It's a good question. So in my experience, I've seen the altcoins follow Bitcoin, at least when the markets are concerned, but I think a lot of the activity is definitely still there. I've seen some really exciting stuff coming out from Solana, from Ethereum, all these cross-chain bridges and ways of moving money between chains, obviously Coinbase's base network. These are all major infrastructural developments that have taken place over the last year. And I haven't seen the market necessarily react to them, although Sol and Solana maybe is a little bit of the exception to the rule. I think that we're overdue, but it's going to take some movement with respect to Bitcoin first. And so there are these conflicting signals that are happening right now. There's buy and sell pressure that are keeping things in this status quo. As soon as there's a good reason to break out of that, that's when things are really going to start to get interesting.
Yeah. Let's also talk about trading volume and just sheer investor interest right now. Your company, Flexa, is a digital payments platform, so I'm sure you're closely watching volumes across the crypto market, interest in crypto. Volumes have bounced back from the lows of 2023, but they're still way off from the peak in 2021. What's your take on the sheer number of people using crypto right now and whether that trend is looking up for 2024?
Definitely looking up. We are absolutely noticing signs of more and more activity and engagement. I noted that we've seen payments up 3 or 4x. That's pretty consistent across chains, actually, in addition to what we're seeing on Bitcoin. And that really started to take off in November or December of last year. We usually look at that as a telltale sign that people are interested in showing their friends they can spend with Bitcoin. They're interested in showing their friends that these use cases that people have been complaining about not existing in crypto for a long time actually do exist. And so I would say we're very close to something big happening here. And I do think it's going to be driven by a new type of use case, specifically something like payments or another wave of interest in NFTs.
Are you seeing any signs that maybe the new type of investor or the new type of interest that's coming into the market is maybe more diligent or more focused on actual use cases compared to the last bull cycle? What does the makeup of the actual movement you're seeing in crypto right now from a user standpoint?
I would say that it's becoming less about investing and speculation and more about doing and actually having fun on chain. There are a lot of new ways of minting very cheap NFT collectibles that can later be used to unlock rewards or certain membership levels and different types of online platforms. That ultimately, to me, is what we see, or what we need to see in order to achieve some kind of mainstream adoption. I always have my eyes on Gen Z, Gen Alpha, because I really believe that crypto is a technology that can enable better flows of funds in almost any possible use case. So if we're thinking about money transfer overseas, or we're thinking about being able to earn points in an app and then spend them in stores, that's where crypto, I think, has a real opportunity to shine. And we are seeing a shift in the user away from perhaps just this speculative investor being 95% of volume toward people who are starting to use these for other types of more leisurely activities, or perhaps just a part of their everyday lives.
All right, that's all for Crypto World today. We'll be
Shout out to Crypto World for that. All right, let's get into this. This will be your number one regret in 2024. This is from Lark Davis. If you guys don't know who he is, the link is in the description for him. I gotta get this unmuted. All right, there we go. Let's get into this, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's see what he's got to say here.
Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it short. This is going to be your number one regret in 2024 and definitely into 2025 when it comes to crypto. And I've got your number two regret as well. That's definitely coming later in 2025, definitely in 2026. This will be everybody's big regret, but that's not the number.
I'm assuming he's talking about holding it all the way through the bull and then the bear, like most of us did, right? It's unfortunate, but you got to go through a cycle to learn. That's how it goes.
One regret you're going to have right now. Now, here's the idea. It's regret theory, and this is something that you try to do a future forecast on. Look forward in your life and ask yourself, in a year's time, if the situation was different, are you going to feel a state of regret? So the big regret that I see right now that most people are probably going to have is not buying enough. Now, I've been screaming about this for the last year, of course, all throughout 2023. Pay attention to crypto. Watch out. The big banks are coming. All the stuff's happening. Cycles coming through. 4-year cycles coming through. It's about to repeat. Bitcoin halving's only a year away. Blah, blah, blah. Well, Bitcoin halving's only 2.5 months away now.
Very close.
It's coming really soon.
April.
And if history is any kind of indication, and it has been so far with our 4-year theory, that's kind of why we have a 4-year theory, but if history is an indication, then you have 6 to 9 months left to finish accumulating any positions that you want to accumulate.
Now, for anybody that doesn't know, this guy is he's very brilliant in the space. He's been around quite a long time. He has a lot of subscribers, and he's one of those guys that, like, I've come to watch a lot more recently than not. And I do value his opinion. So again, this is just his opinion in this video, but I think it's important for you guys to understand and listen to somebody that has actually been through this type of market, or, you know, bear and bull cycle, and just kind of, you know, gauge where you want to be in the midst. Don't just kind of hold on for dear life and just stay along for the ride, because you will have regrets for sure.
And my thought is this: try to get as much as you possibly can during this time, because chances are future you is going to regret not having applied yourself more right now, because I can already hear it. I can already see it on my timeline when the markets are topping in late 2025 or whenever they do. I wish I had bought this coin at that price. I wish I had bought more when it was cheap. Why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I try harder?
Hindsight is 2020.
Why didn't I try to do this and that and the other thing? And to be clear, throughout 2025, I'm probably not going to be buying that much crypto. There's always going to be new opportunities, though. There'll be new sales to get into. There'll be new farms to farm and new DeFi airdrops to get, whatever. There's going to be opportunities. I'm not saying there's not going to be opportunities throughout 2025, but just that the majority of my buying will probably be done by that point. And I'll be looking to take profits, put cash in my pocket, and prepare for the inevitable bear market, which will sound counterintuitive in 2025 when it's happening, or even late 2024 when we start reaching new highs, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But that's going to be the truth. That's not the time to buy. That's the time when smart money, talking to you, it's the time when smart money is going to be selling. They're getting out of the market.
Unless your plan is to DCA and hold long term, like Bitcoin's probably the only long term hold in my book, my opinion. That's just my opinion. You guys do what you want, right? But long term holds, if you're going to DCA consistently, that makes sense. It's proven to be beneficial over time doing that, right? But when it comes to everything else, you got to have a plan.
Okay? That means right now you have the decision to make. Do you want to be the person in 2025 regretting that they didn't do more, that they
Hell
didn't
no.
take a few extra shifts at work, that they didn't do everything possible to try and get more money allocated into the market? Look, crypto's risky. You can lose all your money, guys. Just to be clear, full risk statement down below. In case you're wondering how risky crypto is, you can lose all your money. Okay.
See, this is the difference between him and like Altcoin Daily, right? You want to make money in crypto, subscribe. Like he's like, okay, this is the alert. You can lose all of your money. And this is why I actually value his opinion much higher than most people. And that wasn't a dig at altcoin. It was just in general. You know what I mean?
It's a crazy market. I understand that. I hope you understand that too. Any money brought into this market, you may never see again. But a lot of people will experience pretty big gains by timing the market correctly. And if you're here listening to this message now, then I have good news for you, because you're probably going to buy at a good time. You're probably timing the market relatively correctly and will be able to put in big gains, assuming, of course, that you sell. That's regret number 2 we're going to come to in just a moment here. But the big regret is going to be not buying enough and not applying yourself enough. And I already see this. I already see this happening right now. There's been massive airdrops over the last month. Dude, the amount of money made in airdrops in the last month has been absurd. Crazy money has been made by regular people just like you.
Like, dude, some young kid made like $1 million off Jupiter. It's crazy. Off a free airdrop. Insane.
And I know you're thinking, oh, with airdrops, it's just a game for whales and influencers. Like, yeah, whales and influencers definitely can capture the lion's share. But that doesn't mean that you can't make 4 or 5 figures off of an airdrop. Just
to be fair, you have to be very careful with airdrops, okay? Make sure you guys de-link your wallets after.
Make 5 or 6 figures.
That would be my
It's all relative.
personal preference, or I guess heads up.
People are already living in a state of regret that they didn't do more to get into the Jupiter airdrop. They didn't do more to get into 10 other airdrops that happened. They faded it.
It's okay to miss the boat.
And I guarantee you that most people in the market will regret not having done more, to buy more, to position themselves for this market cycle. If we repeat even vaguely to our 4-year cycle, if we see the altcoin market cap go up to be 1.5 trillion, that's all altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? Then we're looking at insane gains. Insane gains. What if it goes higher? Some people are even talking about a $10 trillion market cap at the peak of the cycle for this time. Now, I don't think it's necessarily going to go to 10 trillion. Maybe it goes to 6 or 7, which is insane, because right now we're 1.5 trillion. All crypto coins combined, 1.5 trillion. So if it goes up that high, the regret is going to be strong with a lot of people that they didn't do more, that they didn't think farther ahead. They only looked at the market today thinking maybe what's going to happen tomorrow, not where we're going, not what could be, but what is right now. And that's a classic mistake people think in the markets. They try to think what's happening tomorrow versus where we're going to be in a year or 5 years or 10 years. And that's where the real money is made in this market. Cycle-wise, next 18 to 24 months will be where the big money is made. Long-term wise, next 5 to 10 years is going to dwarf the gains that happen even this cycle, believe it or not. And that brings me on to the second big regret, and that's not selling. I guarantee you, because it happens every single cycle, a lot of you guys are going to do super well. You're listening to this now and you're going, yes, 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 yes. I'm going to buy. I'm going to do everything in my power to get as many crypto coins in my hand as I possibly can. And of course, you're reading the Wealth Mastery newsletter, by the way, to get those great opportunities delivered straight to your inbox. Join 100,000 weekly readers for free. Link in the description. But you've done everything possible to get yourself well positioned. And you're there. And you're looking at your portfolio and you're saying to yourself, I'm a genius. I did it. I really did it. I bought at the right time. I bought low. I farmed the airdrops. I hustled as hard as I could, and I got the money into the market and I made it. And I'm looking at a portfolio that's worth $1 million, $2 million. Sounds crazy? That can literally happen to you because it happens to people just like you every single bull cycle. Okay.
You know what's crazy? We sit here and theorize like, hey, if I hit $1 million, I'm gonna sell out. Do you know how hard it is to actually pull the trigger and sell it? That's kind of what he gets at here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It is so hard to stay true to what your goals were and sell out because greed will take over 1,000%.
Let's be clear. The problem is The problem is this, because there's something else that happens to people just like you every single bull cycle. They look at that number, that $1 million, that $2 million, and they never click the sell button.
There it is. There it is.
And there's not really a lot that can be done if you don't do that, because at the end of the day, it's you. It's you versus everyone else in the market. Okay. It's not kumbaya.
This is why I say you got to have a goal, right? Like, I got into this knowing that my goal was to pay off my house, right? I'm going to pay off the house. I'll sell everything to do it, and then I'll start over. And you know what? Is what it is. Might be a hard road to start over, but guess what? I'm living free. What the hell's it matter? What do I need money for at that point? You know what I mean? Food, clothes, that's about it.
It's you versus everyone else in the market. There's no community. You're not part of a community, okay? And as crypto investors, we're all kind of part of a community, but I'm talking about when it comes to your individual coin. That coin that you're holding, you're not part of that coin's community. And if being part of that community requires you to hold a bag down minus 99.99%, guess what? It's not a very good community to be a part of.
You know what's funny though? Actually, that's a good point that he just brought up. So communities, like the way crypto works, okay? If you're in a community in one of these crypto discords, you got to understand that, like, when you're buying and you're making money on this thing, somebody else in there is losing money on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, money is just exchanging hands between people in this community. That's all that's happening. And like, some people are, yeah, you're going to get suck it out. You guys are going to be down at the bottom of the barrel. There's other people that are going to be buying friggin' Lambos with your money. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. That's how it works.
Okay. Chances are you're here to make money, to make life-changing games, to put your kids through the best schools possible, to have the best financial security, to live in the nicest home that you can, to have the best health care you can, to have your retirement sorted out, to have more free time, more financial freedom. Now, if your idea of having fun in the bear market is watching your portfolio be minus 99.99% down on whatever altcoins you invested in, and hanging out in a Reddit or a Telegram group with the 5 other guys whose coins are also down minus 99.99% and screaming,
I said Lambo to piss off Oval
everything's a scam and everything's shit. And I mean, hey, somebody's got to do it, I guess, but it doesn't need to be you. A lot of people are going to make the classic mistake of failing to take anything off the table. They're going to round trip their bags. So let's say you invested 20K today, for example, and you hit it, man. You hit the right coins, you get $1 million, boom. And you don't sell because you think it's going to go to 2 million. Top of the market's here. Euphoria is crazy. Greed's high. You've just seen your portfolio double from 500,000 up to 1 million in a week. And you're going, holy crap. If I just hold on one more week, it'll be 2 million. But then it doesn't come. And the next week it's worth 500K again. And then you start bargaining with yourself. Crap. Well, yeah, I know I only invested 20K, but it's going to go back up. It'll be 2 million next week.
Greed gets the better of you, man, every single time.
And that goes down to the 50%. It's only 250K. Oh, it's just a correction. It's normal in crypto. It's going to go back up now. And before you know it, you got 20K left again. Bruh. Heck, before you know it, you have 2K left. You lost all the money you initially put in because that's what happens to some of these altcoins. So
I do have to ask. I don't want to put him on the spot, but I'm going to. Greater Good Mining. I know you've been very vocal on Twitter about your gains in Kaspa. Did you take any of that off the table, or did you leave it on the table? Because I know you're kicking yourself in the ass a little bit right now if you didn't take anything off. But that's exactly why you need a plan. And Max is right. He says write out a plan. 100% write out a plan. It's the best thing to do. Do not get emotionally attached to these coins.
There's 2 big regrets in crypto, and you're going to experience both of them to some degree, no matter how much you've allocated, no matter how much you sell. There's always going to be regret. But you need to think about what you're going to regret more when it comes to looking at the market now. Are you going to regret putting more money in or not having put more money in a year's time? And then when it comes time, late 2025, crazy markets, Coinbase app #1, old friends calling, asking about dog coins, this kind of stuff going on, right? Then you have to ask yourself, fast forward a year from late 2025, sometime in 2026, what are you going to regret more? Having sold, securing your financial future, securing a future for your kids financially, or riding your bags back down 99%. The choice is yours. What will you regret more? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll see you next.
Very good video, and shout out to Lark for that. If you guys are interested in this channel, go check it out. Links down in the description below. All right, last but not least, we're going to listen to the Schiller Altcoin Daily. I apologize. I know some of you guys don't like this, but it is important to get all walks of life on this channel, right? Or at least all the news that I can from every different angle. So the crypto market is about to go crazy. Solana, Cardano, Ripple, and RIP Solana being down right now, unfortunately. If anybody doesn't know, if you're just joining right here, you guys can see that Solana engineers to deploy fix as network suffers major outage. Solana network is down today. Okay, so if you guys are experiencing any issues with your wallets or whatever, that's why. That's it. Okay. All right, let's get into this and see what they have to say. And I got to unmute
market
this.
is up.
There we go. All right, let's do it.
The cryptocurrency market is about to get crazy.
Actually, and HiveOS is down as well.
Just in last night's 60-minute interview, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell admits that, quote, in the long run, the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The debt is growing faster than the economy. The reporter chimes in, well, I have a sense that worries you very much.
Now, this is the main reason I actually played this video or wanted to see this video, because I have been listening to you guys in the comments and in the live chat, and it's I know it's tough sometimes, like these big channels when they're just kind of like shilling stuff or whatever. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of take out the shit videos and not play them every single day, you know what I mean? But the important ones, like, we have to listen to things like this, like Jerome Powell and the actual, like, you know, whatever's going on in the world financially. We have to listen to these types of things just to keep yourself up to date. So
Powell goes, over the long run, of course it does. Listen.
Another economic hangover after the pandemic is a sharp increase in the national debt. 30 years from now, it is projected to be $144 trillion, or $1 million per household. Is the national debt a danger to the economy, in your view?
In the long run, the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path, and that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
I have the sense this worries you very much.
Over the long run, of course it does. You know, we're borrowing from future generations. It's time for us to get back to putting a priority on fiscal sustainability. And sooner is better than later.
Bitcoin and other investable crypto assets is a hedge against this. Bitcoin
it is. Look at this. Look at this debt clock. It's crazy.
Fixes this. Bitcoin looks
insane.
bullish in the face of this. The cryptocurrency market could benefit from the anticipated Fed rate cuts in May. So much is happening in crypto. Let's go coin by coin, project by project. Let me update you. Get these altcoins on your radar. Doing big things. Solana. Chapter 2 crypto phone reaches 60,000 pre-orders. So Chapter 2 is the successor to Solana.
Did anybody order this phone? Actually, I was looking into it, but I'm like, I ain't paying that much money for a phone. But I mean, we do anyways, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I didn't want to pre-order it. And I guess probably my loss, because you can make a shit ton of money on these airdrops they give you guys for these phones, right? So let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you bought it.
Hit crypto phone saga. This reached 60,000 pre-orders ahead of its tentative 2025 rollout. Now, a lot of people are excited about the Solana Chapter 2
it was
phone
bonk,
because
right?
they see it as a way for them to get first access to certain airdrops, like what happened with Bonk. And it really is impressive to witness Solana's tech nowadays. It's really impressive to see these.
Yeah, even though Solana went down last night, this is prior to that. I assume.
Solana network processed transactions through a record demand spike without a hitch. So the vertical line is the time of the Jupe token launch airdrop, and they handled it fine. Next up is to implement a coherent fee mechanism to improve the user experience, dynamic base fees to modulate demand, scheduler improvements to respect priority fees. This reduces the load on the network and RPCs while giving users better guarantees that their higher paying transactions will land instead of other lower paying transactions. Firedancer fixes this. Firedancer is Solana's big upgrade. Solana's founder, Anatoly.
So is that what happened? Did they do this big upgrade and that's why it's crashed?
Yakovenko speaks on what Firedancer means for Solana.
Let me know if anybody knows.
Lightspeed podcast. Listen to this.
Firedancer is running on 8 cores, I think, and like 16 gigs of RAM. So the hardware requirements that you see on Solana could be much, much lower. What that tells me is not that we should lower the hardware requirements, is that we should figure out if there's bugs in the Labs client that we haven't fixed yet and double the capacity of the network. If we can quadruple the compute units per block right now and the network is fine, it's like free growth. Like, why wouldn't we do it? We don't need a
All right, so fire dancer is later, somebody said.
million TPS, but we need to keep doubling it every 2 years.
Ripple versus the SEC jumping back into the news.
Hopefully they figure out the hiccups before then.
As the judge orders Ripple to hand over financial documents after requests from the SEC. What is this about? Do not worry, XRP holders. These are the details. This is what you need to understand. A U.S. district judge has ordered Ripple to produce additional information about the company's financials and institutional sales of XRP, handing a win to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Is this a win? I'm not so sure this is such a big win for the SEC. The regulator, as you recall, sued Ripple more than 3 years ago over what it said were unregistered sales of XRP. Last year, at the conclusion of that case, the Southern District Court of New York and the judge, Torres, ruled that sales of XRP to institutional investors were unlawful security sales, but blind bid sales to retail or even XRP, the asset itself, were not securities. So on Monday, the court granted the SEC's motion to compel Ripple to produce more information so the court can determine appropriate penalties for the institution. So this is just a continuation of the verdicts that we already knew about. I would not say this is a huge win for the Securities and Exchange Commission. Ripple is still up versus the SEC, and what Ripple has done for the crypto space at large is still huge. Props to Ripple, you'll get through this. Great day for adoption, especially of the Ethereum domain name service, as ENS collaborates with GoDaddy to link web domains with blockchain names. Ethereum name service, .eth domain names, have partnered with domain registrar GoDaddy to allow users to link their domain names to ENS totally free, aiming to connect the DNS protocol used by all traditional websites with the blockchain-based names. The collaboration will bridge the gap between traditional DNS and blockchain tech with no additional costs or technical expertise required for users. And with that, we have seen 500 million in Ethereum being withdrawn from cryptocurrency exchanges just in the past week, with 1.2 billion Ethereum outflowing from centralized exchanges over the past month. I think Ethereum is gearing up for a rally in 2024.
That means people are putting it in their cold storage or something along those lines, or staking it somewhere or whatever.
Something like this could happen. Something like this. Or should we be looking at alternative ecosystems like that of Cardano? Cardano garners 50% of Ethereum's search rate on YouTube globally, according to Google Trends. Content is being consumed, fueling the discovery and growth of the ADA ecosystem. And actually, Cardano has a big upgrade coming up in Q1 of this year. So Cardano has a nice little catalyst going for it this quarter. However, coins like Avalanche, Optimism, and Aptos all have unlocks coming out this month. I want you to be aware of exactly when these coins unlock, how much of their circulating supply this is, and just all the information related to this. February, we will see 800 million of unlocks from Avalanche, Optimism, Aptos, and more. So Aptos will unlock nearly 25 million tokens worth 222 million at current prices on February 11th, representing over 7% of the token's circulating supply. Aptos is an L1 network that is similar to Sui. It grew out of Facebook's Libra project. Next, the Sandbox will unlock 205 million tokens worth 88 million at current prices on February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, representing 9% of the token's circulating supply. The Sandbox is a metaverse platform on which users can buy virtual plots of customizable land. Avalanche will unlock 9.5 million.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, what a scam that is, huh? Created by the greeting card companies just to make money.
Tokens worth 344 million at the current prices on February 21st. The tokens represent 2.6 of the circulating supply, 2.6% of circulating supply, and will bring the total portion of unlocked AVAX tokens to 60%. Finally, on February 28th, not the last day of the month, as this year is a leap year, Optimism will unlock 24 million tokens worth $72 million at current prices, representing 2.5% of the Ethereum L2 network tokens circulating supply. And then smaller unlocks happening this month include ApeCoin on February 16th, Monta Network and Oasis Network on February 18th, and Space Token on February 21st. And no crypto ad spots are expected for the Super Bowl this year. BMW, Budweiser, State Farm, Oreo, DoorDash, and Hellmann's Mayonnaise are reportedly planning to advertise for the big game. Food, cars, AI, and crypto are not.
Hellmann's Mayonnaise. Really?
Here's Larry David reflecting on his FTX Super Bowl commercial. Interesting.
Yeah. I asked people, friends of mine who were well versed in this stuff, should I do this ad? Is there anything wrong with this, me doing this? Is this okay? And they said, yeah, this is totally on the up and up. Yeah, it's fine, do it. So, like an idiot, I did it. But, I'm in a class action lawsuit, which I would love to be part of, because part of my salary was in crypto. So I lost a lot of money. Yeah.
Hey, if you're interested in making money, make sure you join our...
God, stop saying that. I hate when he says you're interested in making money. Anyways, all right, so let's get into this little recap here. If my music would work. Really? My music player died now? What is going on today? Anyways, you guys have any questions? Solana network is down. I looked up a few things. Let me see real quick what I was looking up. So this... I was trying not to blind you guys, so I put it in dark mode. Main beta cluster, major outage right here. It says 3 hours, 38 minutes. I thought it was longer than that. I could be wrong. Don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this, but everything else seems fine. Is this legit? Is this where you guys would check it? Let me know. And then we have over here, again, anybody that's just joining, Solana confirms outage on the mainnet. Engineers are investigating. Let's see. It says Solana has confirmed an outage on an outage on its mainnet, with engineers across the ecosystem currently investigating. This is the first major outage for a year and follows a series of such incidents during 2022. Yeah, 2022. Didn't they have like 3 or 4 outages? It's crazy. I wonder what actually happened. Solana has confirmed an outage on its blockchain, causing block progressions to halt. Engineers from across the ecosystem are investigating an outage on the mainnet beta, Solana stated in an incident report. Solana mainnet beta is experiencing a performance degradation. Block progression is currently halted. Core engineers and validators are actively investigating. Blockchain software company and Solana validator Lane posted on X. Solana later confirmed the engineers were readying a new validator software release, including a patch to address the issue which caused the halt. Validator operators should prepare for an upgrade and restart of the network, it said. Interesting. So if anybody's doing anything on Solana, yeah, this is having quite the issues. So again, hopefully, I mean, selfishly, I'm hoping that Solana takes a shit. Where is it? Oh, right here in the green. Wasn't expecting that. 93 bucks. It's at $93 right now. I'm kind of hoping it takes a dump so I can buy more, but is what it is. We will see. I think Solana is going to do very well regardless of this issue. That's just my opinion, but you guys teach his own. Obviously, invest in what you're willing to lose, or with what you're willing to lose. What do you think of Nexilia? Power Mines Crypto? I don't think anything of it. It is a shitcoin as of right now. I am mining it, but that is it. There is nothing to be said about it, because I don't want to associate myself with people losing money, so I don't know if it's going to be good or not. It is just another fork of Kaspa at the end of the day. The pirate cleaning lady unplugged the server to the power vacuum cleaner. It's not uncommon. Oh god, that's hysterical. The pirate, appreciate you. CCXD, don't say that. I got a lot of Solana. Well, all right, so you know what's weird? The fact that Fully Electric, so he said it publicly, right? He has an issue with his Tangem, okay? And the wallet is not reading. It just says like there's a issue, like it's what did you say, undiscoverable or something? It said on your on the page, right? It can't read his amount in his wallet. But there's other people in my community that have no issues with reading the amount of Solana and Honey, which is on the Solana network, inside the Tangem wallet. So I don't know what's different about yours versus theirs. I wonder if they updated the app, and I know you did. So I'm wondering if they did too. but I wonder if the update actually is the thing that screwed it up. And also, yes, Hive OS is down as well for whatever reason. It just says unknown gateway, can't get to it or something. I don't know. But anyways, guys, the world's not ending. I promise. Everything should be good. My Phantom wallet works. Yeah, mine does too. I don't know what's going on. Fully Electric's just yeah, you're taking one for the team right now because you're the only person that has issues on the Tangent, apparently. I don't understand it. Let's see. It can take the dump until, hold on, it can take the dump until it's back online, LOL. With it staying green, we know it's still down. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know if it's actually going to dump or not. I was just joking, but I hope it does. I hope it does for my selfish reasons. Just saying. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Wife has to get to work. I gotta get back to daddy duty. You guys have a great and happy Tuesday. I'm gonna raid you guys over to Miss Randy Hipper's channel. She'll be going live in about 20 minutes, so hopefully you guys go over there, smash the like button, at least for her. Please hit the like button here. I would appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace, peace.
You guys don't get to 100 likes. I'm going to show you my cleavage.
Please, Max, don't. Please don't do that, Max. Goodbye.